dice and roll. Now Heroescape is back again to play all day with our good friends. Valhalla is where we go now to face the battle of all time. To make the Heroescape rises, hey, away was a great surprise. One day when the funding is done, we will take our dice and roll. Soon will the Heroescape rises, hey, away was a great surprise. One day when the funding is done, we will take our dice and roll. We will take our dice and roll. We'll take our dice and roll.
Welcome to ToV Live! And usually I would say it's Valhalla time, but actually tonight it is time to explore the void. Welcome, everybody. Happy Sunday to you. Welcome to the ToV Podcast. Episode 48. Wow, and tonight we have with us the team, or most of the team, from Adventure Together Games, talking about Source, TimeStrike, the Kickstarter that happened last fall, and everything that's happened since they were on last time. Lots of fun things, and we're going to get through that tonight. Hello, everybody. I'm Ryan, aka Tales of Valhalla, and I have some of the usual suspects with me. I have Roguescaper, I got Jeremy, the Yellowstone College, I got Jason, Rocker Robotics, as well as the Source team. Would you guys like to reintroduce yourselves? If you want to start, Chris, go ahead.
And one of the co-founders.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry, I had your microphones on mute. If you want to repeat that.
Oh,
I apologize.
Yeah. It was really well done. Darn.
It was actually great. Great introduction. You don't even need to.
I totally messed up.
Now.
Podcast
so
just over tonight. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Chris Torres. I am the head of creative direction at Adventure Together. You can call me Shaper. I am also one of the co-founders.
All right.
I'll go.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm Anthony. I go by Salpigatus, or Salpy in the community. I am head of game design and software development within Adventure Together. I'm one of the original co-founders.
Good evening, everyone. I am Hamaro, or Nick Mastoris. I am one of the co-founders at Adventure Together and the program director, making sure that we are getting things done on time, or at least as close as possible. Pleasure to be here tonight.
And I am Bob, and I am also one of the founders, and I am a wizard.
It's the hat. It's the hat, you know.
I have more of a get up. I could put everything else on, but it's a lot of work.
No further description needed, wizard. Thank you.
No, I go by it everywhere I work. I'm just the wizard.
Nice.
All right, well, it's great to see you guys tonight, and I want to give a quick shout out to all those out there on the Spotify audiosphere. I haven't done a shout out lately to you guys, and that audience keeps on growing. So I just wanted to say, hey, I see those numbers growing, and just thank you so much for listening to the audio version of the ToV podcast. So yeah, appreciate that so much, and so. Tonight, we're getting into talking about what is. Well, first we'll start off with for those who don't know, and actually I refer back to the podcast we did last fall, which I don't have a link in the description below right now because I forgot. But there will be one later on tonight. But we did do a podcast. Talking about Source, TimeStrike, the Kickstarter campaign with you guys. It was probably one of the best podcasts we did last year. And so what I want to do for just a few minutes, if you guys can kind of rehash what Adventure Together Games, Source, TimeStrike is about for anybody who might not know.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So Adventure Together Games is an American tabletop technology and publishing company. We are based out of New Jersey, but the team is sort of spread all across the U.S. We just launched last fall our two sort of flagship products. The first is Source, which is a modular, scalable, three-dimensional tabletop gaming system that was designed to enable or empower independent creators to design their own games on top of it. It's entirely open source, and it was designed effectively to be a platform you could buy once and then play an infinite amount of games and new experiences on top of. And then I'll hand it off to you, Salpy or Hamaro, to sort of talk about TimeStrike.
So TimeStrike is as it's kind of developed, is a multi-mode, but built as a boss battle royale, where you're going to be able to draft a team of characters and go into battle against friends, or you can go into battle together, all against a giant boss in the world that's going to be trying to take you all out. So we have 3 game modes coming out with it. We have the basic skirmish, which is allowing you to just go all out on battle each other. We have the boss battle royale, which is like our flagship mode, where it's you versus a boss versus each other. So in that mode, you can either have one player win or the boss will win. And then our last mode is the solo co-op mode, which allows you to team up with your friends and fight against a huge boss.
Absolutely. And then, and you described the source terrain a bit, Chris. What can we talk about as well? Well, first of all, wait, I want to give a quick shout out to everyone there in the chat, the live chat. Jotan64, TDO Titan, good to see you. Justin, great to see you guys again. Any questions you might have for the Adventure Together team, please just type them down, and we'll try to get to them a little bit tonight. But so we have TimeStrike, we got the source terrain, and we have, when we last left off with you guys, it was just before the Kickstarter campaign, and that was successful, and we already reported on that a little bit. So I mean, congratulations, yay! Applause for you guys, because I think it was very successful for you. So tell us what you've been doing after the success of the Kickstarter, and what you're working on. Yeah, let's just start from there.
Yeah, so I guess first off, just a huge thanks as well to the community of backers that made this all possible. I mean, the campaign was only successful because there's so many people that were just enthusiastic and excited and out there on social media and telling their friends about it and commenting on all of our posts and liking our stuff and sharing our stuff. And a huge thanks to you, of course, for having us on the podcast at that time, because I think there was a lot of people that had a lot of questions about what we were doing, and that episode in particular really helped us clarify a lot of things and gave us an opportunity and a platform to talk about who we are and what we stand for. So thanks for that. I guess, Himaro, you could probably field this question about the Kickstarter.
Well, I want to echo what you said first, Chris. It was really humbling to see the community that came around Source in such a short time. Our Discord is really active. We have people who we just basically consider like close friends now that, we're just interested in the product that we built. So it's been an amazing adventure, pun intended, 100%. And we're just glad that there's so many people that share our vision. And that was shown through the Kickstarter. And our Kickstarter, we were really happy with too. I think for obvious reasons, it was our first ever Kickstarter. We were able to exceed our expectations, if we're being perfectly honest. And that allowed us to just continue pursuing our dream and crafting this love letter to the community. So I'm just going to grab these numbers. So we actually raised, now of course, I'm lagging out here. But across 1,103 backers, we were able to reach 201K basically. And we had a rally in the last day that was really fun. And this was across 22 different countries that we're going to be supporting shipping for. So not only, do we have people in the US, but we also have people in Switzerland, we have people in Sweden, we have people in the UK. And that's really exciting to us because we already are realizing, hey, everybody's kind of sees this vision. It's not isolated to a part of the world. And we were glad that we were able to reach them, and we hope to continue doing that in the future. Some crazy numbers that we have. I think, Bob, you want to go over the hex counts and things like that? We had some really cool manufacturing numbers here as well.
So one of you count kind of like all the hexes that, that can exist. It's like this. It's like this is a 15 hexer. So if I count every hex that was sold during the Kickstarter, we sold 813,000 hexes.
Yeah.
So we're really happy with that number.
Wow.
That's really cool. I'm really happy with that. Just in raw, we sold 11,000 edges. So we talked about the edges. I don't have one laying right here right now, but you can probably see some photos of those other places.
Those edges are revolutionary. Find out about them.
We love the edges. I think you guys are going to also love them. They're so unique. And then, 24 hexers. We sold 15,000 of those. And then I guess I had the number here for the amount of trees, but that's not here anymore. But it's like 10,000 trees. which was
Yeah.
also really cool.
I like to think about it like, okay, all of these are getting manufactured, which I can imagine like this facility, not that I've gotten to see it just yet, but like with all these hexes just being printed, how cool that must look. ASMR video.
And
And-
that means we could probably get to 1 million by the pledge manager.
Yeah,
we
that's
will.
true.
813,000 hexes, right? Yeah, so
1 million hexes would be a better number. What can I say?
It'll
So
happen.
Most excellence.
We'll get way more than 1 million. By the time we're shipping this, we're shipping way more than 1 million.
That's awesome.
And it's
Wow.
important to note that that was just over a 30-day period, or
Yeah.
give or take, I think 32 days or something like that. So we're really looking forward to the future and kind of getting that hex number to astronomical levels. The more source out there in the world, I think the more games and experiences and stuff we can share together. So I'm really excited to see how that scales. To answer your question about what we've been doing since, working tirelessly is what we've been doing. So we had a lot of really big tasks to accomplish between funding and getting ready to deliver to backers in August. Probably one of the biggest was just selecting our manufacturing partner for TimeStrike. So, I think we talked a lot about the fact that all the source stuff was already done. We had most of the tooling completed, but the item was we really wanted to find a manufacturing partner that kind of shared our vision and what we were trying to do, and then understood kind of where we were coming from as a small publisher, as a first-time publisher, and was willing to work with us and help us from that point of view. Not every manufacturer in the industry is going to be the right fit for that. So we went out, we talked to 4 or 5, and ultimately we landed on Gameland Games. And we're really excited about working with them because they're, the level of quality that they bring and the experience that they have in the industry is just phenomenal, and they've been a blast to work with. So we've been doing a lot of back and forth with them. We obviously had a lot of things we had to add based on the stretch goals that we unlocked. So we had a lot of sort of innovation we had to do on our end. You had to, get in touch with a lot of our art partners and start to create new things. And then, we'll talk a little bit later on in the show, I think, about some of the kind of cool, new and exciting things you can expect to see in the late pledge manager, and things that we were just kind of able to add into the products, not because we unlocked them as stretch goals or because anybody really asked for them, just because we kind of put our heads together and realized it was the right thing to do, and it would add value. So there's some fun kind of updates we have on that end. In addition to that, we had to find our logistics partners for shipping and delivering these things, fulfilling them around the world. So that was another kind of RFP process, if you will. You reach out to all of them, you see what they, what everyone comes back with, and then ultimately we circle up as a team and decide what's best. Tony has been working absolutely tirelessly on making updates and new game modes, TimeStrike, which I'm sure he'll talk about later, in detail. But yeah, it's just been a lot of work. Nick is hard at work setting up the late pledge and pledge manager, which is a whole process in and of itself. You have to take all the backers' data from Kickstarter and get it over to GameFound and set that all up. We're super excited to work with GameFound, and Nick, maybe you could talk about some of the exciting things that GameFound brings to our campaign.
Yeah. No, I love GameFound. I'm going to put it out there. Setting up our Kickstarter was really tough, just to put it easily. So once I got a hold of GameFound, we're able to basically allow you guys to, all of your pledges will be imported. So you'll log into your accounts, or you'll probably have to create an account if you don't have one, but your accounts will automatically be linked to our pledge manager. And then you will have all of your purchases in the pledge manager. So you'll have your tier that you purchased in Kickstarter. And what you'll be able to do is either upgrade it, meaning you can change or get other tiers as well. GameFound doesn't put like a limit like the same way Kickstarter does, or you could do additional add-ons, things like that. And then you're going to be able to choose your environment themes, which I know is what everybody has been waiting for. And we're really interested to see what everybody's going to buy. We've done some polls just to see what environment themes people are really jiving to. So we have an idea, but I'm very interested to see what the full picture is. And that's going to help us obviously understand our manufacturing goals as well. So everyone will be able to pick their environment theme. And then you'll have your shipping all finally being calculated for you. So it'll just be done by weight and based on where you need it shipped to. So that's going to be really nice. And it should just be a seamless experience, much less clunky than Kickstarter. I think any future projects that we're doing will probably go direct to GameFound. They have been very, very good to us, but the platform itself is just way above what Kickstarter offers today. And that's not a slight against them. It's just something nice that we can offer to the team and offer to our backers. And I think it'll be an experience they enjoy.
Yeah, I think one of the most exciting things that backers can expect at a GameFound too is they have stretch pay. I know for a lot of people, being able to spread the payments of a particular project backing out over a couple of months is something a lot of people always ask for in Kickstarter, and they just don't have that. You have to kind of pay it all right when the thing funds. But GameFound recently implemented stretch pay, and I think they're the only crowdfunding platform that offers it right now. So that's a pretty cool feature that you're going to get in GameFound. In addition to that, the lore has been being developed further. Obviously, we promised everyone a lore book, and one will be coming in every box at TimeStrike. So that has been an ongoing process, and hopefully we'll just talk about that a little bit more. So Hannah's been hard at work on that. She's not here tonight, so I'll share what I can about it. Geez, what else?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So the Kickstarter, is it still going to be on Kickstarter or through GameFound? Because I'm not familiar with this site. So when it comes to directing traffic for whatever you guys plan to do, additional to the Kickstarter, can you go to that Kickstarter page and still go to GameFound, or how does that work? How do we get to where we need to? We
will most likely put a link up on our Kickstarter page, as well as an update through the Kickstarter platform where it'll link to the GameFound Late Pledge and Pledge Manager. We'll also have it all over social media. We'll have it in the Discord announcements. It will be pasted everywhere. You're going to get emails from GameFound because your email addresses are being imported into GameFound so that you can use that to make your selections and tie it to your pledge. So everybody's going to know about it. We're going to scream from the rooftops and mountains and up in the clouds if we have to. But yeah, everyone will be able to see it through those channels.
Yeah, and Justin here in the chat is asking, or is saying, delivery in August, perfect timing for AOA. Yeah, it's interesting how all that's coinciding together there.
It's totally coincidental.
We announced first.
It's a pleasant coincidence. Justin's also saying, I pledged for double deluxe, but if I can afford it, plan to upgrade to triple. I get Highland, Tundra, and Desert. I'm really interested in actually the 8-bit one. I think I'm the most interested in the 8-bit one. That's just maybe just my old Nintendo Super Mario days. If you ever if you're old enough to have lived through that,
We did a poll in our community asking what people are most excited about, and 8-bit didn't perform well. It was like bottom of the list, but I think it's super sleeper. I think it's underrated. I think so too. Once you have the 8-bit in your hands, the possibilities are gonna start popping off in your mind. That's the one I'm probably most excited about. I think there's a lot of games I want to build for an 8-bit environment.
I could see people 3D printing Minecraft miniatures and using it to play Minecraft on it very easily. Even I think it was Chris or Salpy or Tony that showed me there was actually these 8-bit trees that somebody had built, and just 8-bit figures on an 8-bit map. I mean, come on, it can't get much cooler than that. To me, I'm super excited about it. Yeah, nostalgic, but also just like I think it's going to be really unique. I don't think anybody else in that space is doing that outside of digital right now. Nobody's like, hey, real life 8-bit. It's all, digital 8-bit, retro. What about in our hands? Like, we're all about the tactile. I think it'll be super powerful.
And before we get into the lore portion, and if someone's dumping something in chat, I can't access that at the moment. But
okay. I was just throwing. People have been building with our 8-bit in Tabletop Simulator and just posting pictures of stuff they've been.
Well, here let's just take a look at this really quick here. I'm just gonna spread this out, see if it'll load. Will it load?
Ooh, I like it.
Will it load? I don't know. Okay, wait, but I will say we will talk about lore in a second, but before lore, I do want to talk because one very innovative and interesting thing that's happening within the Adventure Together Games Discord, and if you want to most of these places we talk about, link in the description below for Adventure Together Games website if you're watching this on YouTube, and through their website you'll be able to find Discord and all the places to go to for that. But what was really interesting in the Discord, and yeah, these aren't popping up. I'm sorry, Anthony. I'm sorry. But no, the community like just creators popping up saying, "Hey, I can do something with Source. I can create this game off it. I can create this game off it." Tell us a little bit about this wave of creators, like finally, like seeing the opportunity of like creating something and possibly making a life from it. So how has that impacted you guys?
I'd like to jump in and say that the first thing I realized is they are us.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
The way they feel about like, oh, I could make all these games and I could do this and that. That's us. That's literally the way we felt when we kind of first started in this venture and what we've always wanted to do. Because a lot of us, we've always wanted to make video games and board games. We loved sharing like experiences and coming up with complex mechanics to solve with your friends. And we kind of landed into Source, and the first time we got it in our hands is when we're like, oh my gosh, this is a tool. This isn't just a game. This is a tool where people can create stuff. And I tell you, like, the amount of times that we've had other just people, friends and family that we've been helping us play test and stuff come up, pitch their own ideas of what they would do with the game, and then just to see the community do the same thing and us do it back to them, like we're still like, oh, what if you did this as a game, or I'd like to see this. It's just like, yeah, it's just a reflection of us, which is our community is a reflection of us, which is cool to see. It's something unique.
Yeah, I think
It's awesome.
Look, we have a fantastic community. There's a lot of designers, surprisingly, in our Discord, and they're constantly talking about game design and their different perspectives on game design and games they played recently. And so it's just turned into this really kind of amazing think tank of different independent designers and creators who are just kind of sharing their ideas and bouncing them off each other. And when we looked at Source, we saw, to Tony's point, that it was this tool that could empower creators to come up with and quickly start to prototype and play test game ideas. We knew we had to share this with the world. It wasn't something we just kind of keep to ourselves. So having shared it, I'm actually kind of shocked at how quickly these teams formed around Source and have started to build their own games. So I want to take a moment to shout out some of the games that are really far along, already have names, already have mechanics, and have had playtests.
Nice.
A lot of them we got into playtest ourselves and test out with these creators. Some of them you could expect to launch as early as this year. So keep your ear to the ground on these projects and these teams and these designers, because they're really incredible. Some of them have been thinking about building a game like this for years. Having known three-dimensional modular board systems existed, they've just kind of been waiting for this moment. And then here it is. And so they've jumped back to, they've dug out these old projects that they were, workshopping, and they're like, now I can do it. So we've talked a bit about, the last time we were on the podcast, the different ways we'll work together with these creators. But one that I'm most excited about is most likely at Gen Con this year. We're going to have those creators come, and we'll have tables dedicated where they can play test with just anyone who's shown up at Gen Con has an interest to try them out. And so that sort of feedback loop that'll be there at Gen Con will be an incredible way to show off a couple of things. One is the versatility of the Source system and all the different kind of game modes you can play on it. And the other is just to help these teams get further along in the development cycle, which is, it's critical to get these blind play tests. And sometimes it's really hard to do, and you don't really get the same experience when you're on Tabletop Simulator, although it's a great tool. So this in-person sort of experience we're gonna hopefully get to put together around Gen Con is something I'm super excited about. But to name just a few, and I have write-ups from the creators, so I'll just read through them really quickly. So the first game is called Incursion Event. It is designed by Luke Rosemelia, and it is set in the Fallen universe. So it is going to be an offshoot of TimeStrike, based around some of the characters you're playing in Shadow of Fear. So set in the Fallen universe, Incursion Event, it puts 1 to 4 players in control of the Knights Mechanica, gigantic armored mechs constructed as part of humanity's desperate defense against a demonic invasion. Inspired by games like Into the Breach and Gloomhaven, Incursion Event is a cooperative tactical combat game that emphasizes movement effects and positioning rather than direct damage. The card-based action system makes each turn a puzzle, as players must choose the best combination of effects from a limited hand of cards. Since each player will only take 5 turns during a mission, the tightly constrained scope of scenarios leaves little margin for error and ensures that a single session can be completed in under an hour. So Tony and I got a chance to play test Incursion event. It's a lot of fun. It's like you really have to kind of think through absolutely every single move that you make. And I'm super excited to see how this one develops and to hopefully get to
Very nice.
I would
go ahead.
say
That
one of the
sounds
coolest
awesome,
parts
yeah.
is just the positioning that's involved in it. You're constantly position means everything in that game, and it's just and Source feels good with it.
Another game is called Exo Pirates. This is designed by Jordan Brown. They are out of Australia, I believe, or New Zealand. So I always get those two confused. I apologize to everyone in both those countries. But Exo Pirates is a skirmish tabletop board game with the deck building elements set in the distant future, where space pirates, colloquially called exo pirates, fight for control over exoplanets. Your exo pirate can transmit information instantly to another host body using stolen technology deemed to be contraband, allowing your exo pirate to uniquely be reborn in another, more powerful form. As you play, you must reserve cards from your hand that your alternate form will have to rely on, leading to an interesting deck-building dynamic as you play. You can also pillage cards from other exo pirates that have fallen in battle, or choose to destroy their memory from existence and prevent other players from acquiring their knowledge. Each exoplanet is unique, with chests containing powerful cards and modifiers that alter how you play and the actions that you can perform. There's another one we've had a chance to play test. I think it's really excellent. Tony.
So good. It's the coolest mechanic in it is you deck build while you play,
Nice.
which I haven't done in a game before. It's really good.
Thematically, my favorite part about this game is when you're dead, a little tombstone gets left behind. You come back in a stronger form, but other players can interact with your tombstone and start to steal powers and abilities from your past life. It's super neat. And the other thing is, the deck building that's fun is like the meta sort of like whenever you can discard cards from your hand and put them into your future pile so that when you come back, that's your new hand. So you're sort of choosing what to sacrifice in your first phase to make yourself more powerful or kind of build that strategy into your second phase. So again, really neat game. The third is Epic, designed by Alexandros Chapin. Epic is a skirmish and quest game set in a world where the introduction of magic has irreversibly altered the course of history. Epic is built for Source and allows 1 to 4 players to pit forces of warriors from settings across time and space. The innovative speed stack system allows for a unique turn-based playstyle that rewards sequencing and synergistic team building. Each round, a new event card is integrated with the speed stack, ensuring each game plays differently. This is obviously NGG, New Generation Games. And I know you're very involved in that, Roguescaper. I've been, I'm in the Discord and I'm watching everything that's going on and how you guys are developing. So I haven't had a chance to play test it yet, but I do understand, kind of the core mechanics. Roguescaper, maybe you could say a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so the game is primarily just a skirmish game, kind of meant to be played kind of fast and kind of fun. Where the arrangement of the your placement and kind of initiative is constantly shifting. You're constantly adapting and changing around with that, as well as just kind of unique characters and powers and kind of a fun, weird kind of setting of kind of combination of vibes. Like steampunk vampires and crazy goblins. So it's like kind of a bunch of just kind of entangled stuff and a kind of a fast gameplay mechanic.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for those 3 projects. Those are probably the most mature of the projects, and the teams we're kind of the most involved with and talking back and forth with. But these are all experiences that are going to come to Source, fairly soon. So if you own Source, the idea is you don't have to buy another set. When this game comes out, you'll be able to just set it up in the set you have already and play these games. And it's it's just a thrill for us to be able to work with independent creators and to be a part of the process, because obviously we love game design and we also love the process of turning ideas into reality. So to work with these teams and help them bring their dreams to people's tables and hopefully get them published is super fulfilling for us.
That is amazing. It's just amazing to me how it's all developed pretty quickly. It's just a course of just a couple of months, and this is already coming out, seemingly from nowhere, just out of people's heads. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah,
and
there you go.
They came running, and it's been really fun to work with them all.
It's a source field of dreams, basically. There you go.
Nice. That's really cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that's incredible. Well, it's cool to see that all that's developing. that you're gaining momentum from your Kickstarter to actually do some more crowdfunding really soon. Is there a date on that, by the way? Nothing to announce yet.
Which,
The,
on the late pledge?
Yeah, the late pledge.
Very soon.
Very soon. Okay.
Very
right.
soon.
All right.
There's not
Very
going to be like a pre-announcement. It's just the day it launches. We'll say, hey,
out
it's
there.
up.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, how about we talk then? Well, first, before we get into the lore, let me just pass the baton for a second to a couple of our panel. See if they have any questions for you guys. Jeremy, do you have any questions for the Venture Together team? Any thoughts that you have for them?
I mean, not any questions so much as just observation of the dynamic you have right now, where you're interacting with the community, is highly appreciated. I think nowadays, we have this dynamic kind of like developing with companies, especially where they interact with their users, with their players, with the people that use their product. And for a while now, of course, with a lot of entities, it's always like that corporate, woo woo. It's like, you can't really engage with some individuals as much as you could possibly do so. But in this fact, right, where you're engaging with their game designs, and you're giving them feedback, and you're doing the play testing, and you're helping them out with that kind of stuff, that's incredible. I just wanted to put out my thoughts that that's really, really cool to see from a game company. Highly appreciated from a longtime gamer, and just it's just knowing that you have these creators' backs as they work with your product. It's super impressive. It's just really good rapport between both the people that are going to be able to play the project when it comes out, and then be able to experiment with their own ideas, and then that, like you were saying, that feedback loop that you're getting. They're making you excited about the product. They're excited about your product and using it for their stuff. This is really, really cool stuff, and I just wanted to kind of say that and be like, congrats, you're doing it, because that's just a really good dynamic to have for a company, and I'm really, really, really excited to see what that turns out, or how that turns out. So.
Yeah, thanks so much. Look, that's the value we were founded on. That's why we branded the company Adventure Together. We've always aspired to be empowering and super authentic, and to just take people on adventures. And yeah, Tony was talking about it earlier, but this just started off as a dream. We were just friends who got together a lot and said, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if?" Or, "Oh, imagine a game where," and I know everybody has that. I know everybody has hung out with their friends and been like, "Oh, wouldn't it be amazing if?" And all you need to do is take that first step, and we hope that Source can be that first step in a lot of ways for people, so you don't have to take it. We kind of took it for you there, and then you can just start to build on top of that, and then we're kind of your partner all along the way. Once you signal to us, like, "Hey, I want to do this, and I'm serious about it, and I just don't know where to start," we're like, "Great, we just did it." We'll help you get there. So yeah, that's something we're really, really passionate about, and thanks for noticing.
Now, part of it, going on top of what he was saying, was like, we realized, as we've been going for 5 years now on this project, we realized how hard it is to go from concept to getting something down to actually playing it to getting feedback. And we're like, why don't we just did all this, why can't we just pass this along to our community and and with our product? And that's kind of what Source was kind of concepted as too, is just like a prototyping tool. Because one of my favorite stories about kind of our run through everything is we concepted TimeStrike for about a year and a half, and the first time we sat down to play it, we stopped within like 15 minutes. We're like, "Oh, this is garbage. This is terrible."
Okay.
And it was that year and a half of just like, thinking about it to to finally putting it down on the table in front of you and playing together, to actually realize that all your ideas are garbage and you need to start from scratch, which we kind of did.
Right.
And and we now have such a unique game that takes advantage of like every aspect that you can think of Source. And yeah, that's just like one of our goals, is like to help people get to that, put it down, play it, and start going, because that's when it really gets fun.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'd be remiss to not mention Stonemeyer Games and Jamie from there. They were such a huge inspiration for us as new publishers, because he's always really transparent and really open about the process of how he designs his games, what it's like to run a business as a publisher, things to look out for, and he goes into nuanced details about every step of the process. And we were able to learn a ton from him. And we thought to ourselves, if we were to be a game company, we want to be like that. We want to be able to share our journey with everybody else so that they can hopefully follow in our footsteps or come on it with us. And I think you're going to start to see a lot more of that in tabletop gaming, just because it is such a communal industry.
Oh, it really is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a communal thing that I hope to see at least more of the big, larger, more corporate-y type companies follow the example of smaller publishers and start to say, let's just directly engage with our community. Why guess what my players want when I can just literally ask them? We live in the internet age. I can do a video call like this anytime I want and just say, what do you think? What can I do better? And it would just be such a big missed opportunity for us to not be doing that. So
nice.
We invest a lot of time in it.
Very cool.
Very nice. And yeah, TDO, thank you, Justin, for answering that question. But yes, TDO Titan, Field of Dreams. If you've never watched it, I highly recommend it. It's I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's one of the movies that is very, very memorable. Very memorable film.
Dennis Quaid, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's very popular in the Midwest. I will definitely tell you that.
Yes, absolutely. Jason, do you have any thoughts or questions for the team?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious with this independent game creation process here. Is this something where Adventure Together license it out to game developers, or can anybody just go ahead, create, publish, and produce a source compatible game without any input or any approval from you guys?
Yeah, so there's a couple different models that we're kind of exploring right now, and the teams we're working with currently, we haven't yet, inked exactly how it's going to work. But the general idea here is it's an open source system, so if you want to use it, you can go ahead and use it. We want you to. We encourage you to. In terms of licensing your game, that would depend on which kind of path you want to take. We obviously will do traditional publishing. So if you have a game and you want to pitch it to us, you want us to do the heavy lifting, we will. And we'll give you a percentage of sales, very traditional. We would own it for however many years, and then you'd get the rights back. The other path is you don't want any involvement from us at all, but you still want to do it on source. We absolutely are cool with that too. And what we would do is we would just act as your manufacturing partner. So when it comes time, let's say you crowdfunded on your own, you come back to us, you say, I need 500 sets of it with this artwork on it. We'll just go ahead and do that, and we'll give you the direct from manufacturer rates on it. And then the other is if you really want to learn about the process from start to finish and grow your own business, we'll do a joint venture. We'll do an LLC. We'll form one together with you, and we'll share in the risk and we'll share in the reward together. So that'd be like a 50-50 split on let's build a business together. Why not? So there's a lot of different pathways, and obviously we're open to talking with independent creators and seeing what they think works best for them or what way they want to go with it. But generally speaking, we're going to come up with a license that'll come with every set of source sold that's really clear on what the terms are. Like for instance, you can 3D print these things and sell your 3D printed source sets on Etsy if you want or something, right? We don't care. The only thing that we would restrict is the tooling of the source set yourself. The mass manufacturing of source tiles we would require that designers or creators come back to us if they want to get them, the injection tooled pieces. But generally, it's pretty wide open there. If you want to build a game on it, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll add on to that. If you really just want, if you don't want to go too deep, you have an idea for a game and you're like, well, I don't know if I want to sell a whole board along with it, you can 100% be like, I came up with these rules, I came up with these cards, I came up with these minis, sell it as is, and just mark on your box, plays with source. You would just have to be clear to whoever you're selling to, they would have to pick up source from us or a retailer or something first to play your game, but you don't necessarily have to put the hexes in the box, which is part of the way TimeStrike is coming. Is TimeStrike is coming as its own package, and then source is coming as its own package. So everything is very modular in that way.
Yeah, and one of the great things about that for an independent creator who's never designed a game before is you could release this thing that just plays on source. And you're lowering your manufacturing costs, first of all, by not including all these parts. And you're also tapping into an existing market of source owners. So if you haven't built a community on your game, it's all right. We're building one constantly. And the more and more people that own source, the larger that audience is going to grow. So independent creators will be able to just benefit from the value of a pre-existing community that's built around this product that already owns the thing you need to play it.
And then the barrier of entry for your game is even lower because you don't have to worry about someone buying, hundreds and hundreds of tiles when they already have them. And I really love that. Is like all the games Chris mentioned, like you're gonna be able to pick them up for way cheaper than if you would have had to have bought the entire giant box on a board game shelf. Like that's huge. And I love that feature of just independent creator, make your game, go for it. Like the major cost of your game has already been handled for you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and obviously on the source application itself, so the digital side of the system, we're going to be constantly spotlighting and highlighting independent game creators, especially if the game's popular and does real well. We'll obviously want to just shout from the rooftops, hey, you can get this on source and play it. So even if we're unaffiliated with it, even if we make no money from it, that's really not the point. The point is to continue to add value back into the community and add value around source. So we'll obviously, even if you release it with never talking to us ever, if we know it exists, we'll highlight it and we'll make it, we'll talk about it.
Which I'm looking forward to. I'd like to just discover a game that plays on it. Like, oh, I love this game.
That'd be
I
great.
didn't even know about it.
Did I answer your question on that?
Yeah, that's good. A lot of information. Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. And yeah, Kevin Costner, not Dennis Quaid. Just yes, Kevin Costner. Dennis Quaid was the rookie.
That's right.
Another good film, the rookie. But yeah, Field of Dreams. Kevin Costner, just like, so nice. All right, Josiah. Any thoughts or questions for them?
Or just curious. So Kickstarter's going on. I assume you just have some kind of like ticker or something, kind of showing the numbers coming in. Kind of just put me in the room, kind of during like the beginning of the process and the end of the process. Like, what's everyone thinking and kind of their hopes and excitement levels with that?
So the night before.
A loaded question.
No, I have a good starting spot. The night before. So we were really, we're just a team that pushes and sprints hard at times. And we were up, I think, till launch for the night that Kickstarter went live. We were sitting there, we were making final tweaks. We were double checking ourselves, triple checking ourselves. Chris was getting our video that we put up on the Kickstarter done. I think he sent that to me at like 3 a.m. a few hours before we went live. We were working with our marketing firm out in California. They were up all night with us, getting ready to launch more ads, getting ready to launch this Kickstarter, start fielding everything in. And I just remember not even being a little bit tired. I was like, all adrenaline. Chris was dead tired because he had spent all his adrenaline a week ahead of that, and for the last like 72 hours. Tony was up all night with us. Bob was helping and getting up. I mean, it was a great moment. It's not often that you say, hey, 4 years of work, 5 years of work, finally get to show it to the world. And when I woke up I didn't even go to sleep. I went to work, and then I was watching it throughout the day, and I just remember how fast we hit our goal, and I was like, that's what I wanted to see. I feel really, really good right now, like in my gut. And it was a really good experience after that. I mean, lessons learned, I think, across the team, and this is more from my perspective that you're getting right now. Tons of lessons learned.
Yeah.
Like, every time we do this, we're going to get so much better, so much faster, so much more efficient. We're already doing it. Like, we're already like, okay, more games are on the way. Why not have another pledge manager once Source and TimeStrike are out into the world? Nothing's going to stop us. So that's, from my perspective, is just pure adrenaline. The social media managing of it is really, really intense. I'll tell you that. People are not always kind, and some people are overwhelmingly kind, and it's a very emotional roller coaster, and you have to just be really, really professional all the time. And I remember telling Chris, like, I'm just going to bite my tongue and be a super nice guy, and that's it. So great experience overall, really, really learned it, and I think we grew as a team heavily through that experience. It was just like another wall we had to break down. We broke it down, and now we're in the manufacturing and the shipping, and it's just building your own company and seeing it come full circle is probably one of the most rewarding moments you'll ever have. And I feel like we're not full circle yet until everybody has this, but we're so stinking close. Very excited. Very excited.
I believe.
It's great that you maintain community goodwill as well throughout the whole process too. Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Roguescaper, if you could have been in the room when the numbers are coming in, I was dead asleep. I was unconscious. I felt like I had earned it, and I woke up to see that we'd funded an hour and all that was done. But yeah, I just passed out, and I actually I knew how emotional it was going to make me, and I was like, it's probably for the best that I just go to bed. So I was asleep on the first day, but then every day after that, I have to echo what Nick said. It was incredibly exciting. It was an emotional roller coaster though, every step of the way. But the thing I didn't expect was just the overwhelming amount of communication you have to perform. It is all across the internet, widespread. You have to be there to answer questions and address questions and clarify things constantly, nonstop, from start to finish for 30 days. So it's like, yeah, there's days where you're just like on top of the world, and there's days where you're just like, please let me sleep. I need sleep. So yeah, it's kind of all over the place. I think, yeah, to Nick's point, we'll get better and better at it, and of course, better of controlling, emotionally how we feel throughout the process. I'm speaking more for myself than the whole team, but for me, it was just lots of this constantly the whole time. And I think that, yeah, it was incredibly fulfilling. It was rewarding, but it was a lot of work, and it takes a lot of people to come together and just kind of all be communicating constantly and to be on the same page to really effectively deal with it. There were lots of days throughout the campaign where it would feel like there was a fire. You'd be like, oh, there's this post in this community and it must be addressed because people are going off about us, and and people would send us tips like, I'm in this community and I just saw this, you need to jump in there. And so we were just all over the place. We kind of felt omnipresent for a bit, and across Discord, across Facebook, across Reddit, anywhere there are humans congregating to talk about board games, we kind of had to be there. So that overwhelming amount of attention, maybe some people like it. Not a super big fan. I felt like I just want my privacy back for a little bit. But it was, obviously overall, it's like we realized a dream that we've had for years and years and years. So it was, it ended with nothing but, fulfillment, just feeling super fulfilled and proud. And then, of course, we as a team just bonded. I aged 15 years.
Oh, my
I don't even look the same in the mirror. The wrinkles are coming in. Yeah, I aged for sure.
You look like a president out of office. You're just like,
Actually, I wasn't gonna say. I was gonna save this for the backstage, but I mean, Chris, nothing against you, but you kind of look like a hermit guru. That's just,
I'm here to seek your wisdom for sure.
All are welcome.
Amazing.
He's got a truck through the snow in New Jersey.
He's got the prancing pony keg next to him. He's in mode.
Yeah. Actually, there you go. Nice. All right. Well, let us then hop into this next segment, which I am very thrilled. And I already announced this before in the ToV podcast, but let's talk a little bit of TimeStrike story and Tales of the Void and what that is going to consist of. But first, TimeStrike story. Tell us what you can about the lore, the story within TimeStrike.
Sure. So, TimeStrike takes place in the Void. The Void is essentially a super universe Pangea, where universes go at the end of their timelines. And it's a bit of a mystery that we are going to be hopefully uncovering in a sort of episodic format across multiple game releases. So the first game, The Shadow of Fear, is set in the Void, where characters from the universes of the Fallen and characters from the universes of the Meek are kind of ripped from their timelines, and they find themselves in the Void. They're going to be discovering each other for the first time ever, and what they're facing, the primary sort of motivation or the obstacle, let's say the challenge that our heroes are facing and our villains are facing in this first release of TimeStrike is fear. And so obviously throughout the story, they're going to be sort of trying to overcome the deep fears that they have from their past. And they're going to be relying on each other. They're going to be challenged by the Void throughout that journey. essentially what you're going to be doing is you're going to be following them in this sort of present tense story throughout the void, where they're faced by fear and they're sort of facing this gigantic monster in this unknown place, torn from their worlds, and they're sort of reflecting on not only who they are and what they're most afraid of, but their past, and trying to sort of reconcile the things that have happened to them. They're going to be running into other characters from their universe, but it's going to primarily kind of weave itself between a present tense story of these characters discovering the void for the first time, facing these challenges and their own fears, discovering these other characters from other universes, and then we're going to be jumping back to their histories. They're going to be having flashbacks throughout the story of who they are that's going to tell you more and more about them. So it's going to be a sort of slow reveal of who these characters are. You're going to learn more about their worlds, you're going to learn more about their histories, and then you're going to see them overcome a lot of the things that their histories have kind of predispositioned them to act upon or to feel. Obviously during the stretch goal unlock, we unlocked this lore book, which kind of expanded the vision we had for the lore, and we decided it was worth kind of revisiting and kind of trying to tell a more present tense version of a story. Obviously their histories are deep, and we have heroes' journeys for every single one of the characters. Their histories, their backgrounds, what town they grew up in, who their parents were, what their friends were. So that'll all be in the lore book as well. You'll get their histories, sort of told almost like an encyclopedic format. But then you're also going to get this present tense journey now, which tells the story of what they're going through. And now each one of these will sort of end with our characters kind of facing that monster, in this case, fear. But it'll be a cliffhanger, so that the next time we launch, Heart of Desire or the next themed box, you'll pick up where those characters left off. You'll be introduced to new characters, and they'll be facing new challenges. So that is effectively a little glimpse into what you can expect from our lore book. The main characters are obviously, you have Mara, you have Jake, you have Gula, you have Hod. We could talk about each one of these characters, at great length. But I don't know if we have time for all that. Do you have any specific questions about the lore?
Well, I wanted to ask particular about the lore book. Is that going to be released basically with the game? Will there be like digital files of it? And that process? What's happening within the story? Is it still being developed? I mean, I kind of know this question already, but I'll allow you to answer it.
It is still being developed. It's very far along, however. I would say that it is the target deadline for us to be completed is March 1st. So we have only a couple of days now to really wrap it up. We'll obviously consult with a lot of people, have them review it. We'll have editors, we'll have graphic designers, all sorts of people have their hands in it between now and then to make sure it's picture perfect for release. The format you're going to get it in, we're really excited. This is kind of an announcement, but we're going to be able to do it in a hardcover format. It's going to come in every single box of TimeStrike. So you're going to get a hardcover lore book in every single box of TimeStrike, and we're ecstatic about that. And we've been talking to our manufacturing partners about it and just trying to make sure it's a really, really quality item that all of our backers get. I don't know if it'll be released in every box of it, every print run into the future. So maybe it's an exclusive, could be just a Kickstarter exclusive. We'll see. But for now, you're definitely going to get that in every box of TimeStrike, and we're super stoked about it. So
we will be also. Sorry, Chris. We will also probably be releasing it online, so you'll have access to it. It won't just be like, hey, I only have access to the lore if I made the purchase. You just only have the hardcover, potentially limited item.
I think when Jeremy heard hardcover lore book, he fell back out of his chair.
I always appreciate a good hardcover book, especially if it's about a game. It just incent. Oh, what's the word? It's my my validation. There's
I got a hardcover lore book. Now it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, we spent years crafting these stories, and so they mean a lot to us. And obviously, it adds cost to a product to add a hardcover lore book, but totally worth it. It's an item I'm excited to have.
Stories, or the time and the effort we put into crafting these stories for these characters. It's we have to serve them right.
Yep.
Yeah, and obviously it's going to be illustrated, right? So you're going to have all the artwork from the tremendous Adam Martin, who did the artwork for TimeStrike, the box art, everything, all the character artwork. That'll be all throughout it. We've got new artwork that'll be in it as well that no one's seen yet, which will kind of help you kind of visualize the void and that sort of present tense journey as you're reading through it. So if any of you have watched The Witcher, it's not so dissimilar from that. Like, stories are kind of told across different timelines, but they're interwoven, and eventually it'll all make sense as you get to them.
Yeah, currently
I'm
doing
excited
a read
about
up on those books. So, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Jose.
Oh, I'm excited about a good lore book. Is because, I mean, when you break down the game, you can just have meeples on a board and just say that's what it is. But being able to like know the character and its story, and it definitely adds so much more integration and personal investment to a game. So I'm excited about that.
You become as a community, as someone who wants the game, you become more invested into it. Yes, exactly. If there's a story tied to it, absolutely.
I think something that's really cool about our lore as well, and if anyone here is like familiar with League of Legends, right? Because the void is what it is, and it's bringing in all these different universes. For this lore book, you're going to get the Fallen, and you're going to get the Meek. But in the next lore book, you get the Lamplighters, and you get the She-Kind, and no two stories are really alike. And all of a sudden, you have like 4 stories happening in their own universes that you can go back and view and learn about these characters and the history of them. But then you have the present story at the same time, and it works really, really well. And we were never limited by our choices. Like, because its universe is colliding, our character limitations as well as our art limitations were removed from us. If you want a whole world of fairy pirates, have a world of fairy pirates. Whatever you want to do. They came in from the fairy pirate universe where they wore cloud shoes. Like, wonderful.
Nice.
You can do it. I really like it.
Cloud or clown?
Cloud.
Oh, okay.
Fairy
shoes.
clown.
That would be a cool.
Fairy
That would be
clown
funny.
sounds very
That would be
horrific.
funny.
Unknown universe.
There's a universe for everything. One has clowns, one has clouds.
Why not? Why not?
Absolutely. And how about Tales of the Void? Like I said, I already announced this on Tales of Hell YouTube channel. But this will end up being, I mean, we're in currently the pre-production stage of this, to where I'm just like thinking of ideas. It's more like people from Adventure Together Games is saying, Ryan, hold yourself back just a little bit before we start taking off. And I'm like, okay. But it's basically going to be the development of a visually narrative story through stop motion, the way I did it with Tales of Valhalla: The Aftermath Chronicles. So that for me is a big thrill. It's going to take a lot of time, and we have a lot of discussions. Like I'm already starting to do. But I already have run some things when it comes to lore and when it comes to the Void itself with these guys through Adventure Together Games. And I got to turn it to Chris, though, because I don't know what to talk about and what not to talk about when it comes to this. So before my voice gives out again, because still recovering, yeah, Chris, just what should we talk about for this?
Well, I'll start by saying that you were pretty instrumental in helping us put, a couple of the final touches and pieces together for the Void and the overarching narrative of TimeStrike. As we were just talking about, we know everything about their histories, but this sort of, what is this journey of the Void now that you're there? What's that look like, and why are they there, and what are the motivations of the character? You were sort of super instrumental in helping us put those pieces together, so thank you for that. Tales of the Void, I mean, I've been a fan of your stop motion for years now, right? I think I reached out 3-4 years ago and just let you know it was incredible to see. And so I've always kind of been hopeful that you would want to put your artistry onto something that we created. So Tales of the Void, first and foremost, I think just the format of stop motion is absolutely incredible for tabletop. I mean, the actual pieces you play the game with, on the actual boards you play the game with, and then telling a story in that format is like, to me, it's remarkable and it's perfect. It's exactly how the story should be told, in my opinion. So I'm super, super excited for this collaboration, and I know how talented of a storyteller you are and how dedicated of an artist you are. So I think that you can pretty much say anything except giving away the end.
Yeah. What is the end? Who? I got ideas for that. Well, no, I mean, there's just, I mean, I haven't like been furiously writing things because there's been a lot of things going on in my life, and also, I mean, I have things with HeroScape and stuff to keep up with, but it doesn't mean I don't brainstorm, and it doesn't mean I don't think about it. And I have like just a list of just notes of things that could be happening right away. And there's also like what we're thinking as far as concepts go. One central narrative story, a lot like what the seasons of Tales of Valhalla: The Aftermath Chronicles are, although it's going to be a completely different story. It's going to be like, I mean, there might be a little bit of satire in there, but I think it's going to be a bit more of a serious tone to it. Still fun, but you have some serious characters in here, and as well as probably some short type of videos, probably starting out just introducing the characters, maybe doing something with Source Golf, and having that be something that will be a lot more comedic and fun. So yeah, I mean, that's all I probably want to say about that, because yeah, I mean, until I really start taking my T3i and start snapping pictures to animate the stuff, yeah, I don't know how much more I want to really get into other than just everybody. It's gonna be fun when it all starts coming out and all starts getting developed. Yeah, that's all. And
stay tuned.
Yeah, it's
gonna be the meeting of our minds. I think it's gonna be pretty phenomenal.
It's definitely. I mean, for me, when I started the YouTube channel, I started animating. I mean, it was mostly to save my life, in a sense, and to come out of it through this. I mean, I had an inkling to hope that maybe someone out there might notice something that I do, you know, and so. For it to come to this point, I'm very, very grateful and very thankful for what opportunities can come from it. Because there's no way I can make games. I'm not like that type of mind to make games. I'm Tales. I'm a storyteller. So so I'm glad to be a part of it. All right.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, exactly.
If you source it, they will come. That's the tagline.
All right. Now, anything you guys want to tease or hint at coming up this year, and anything we haven't talked about yet? The floor is yours. Because I think there was one or two things that we haven't covered yet.
Where should we start, guys? A lot of things.
To do the thing you have in your room. Well, let's show off the 24s first.
Yeah, the 24s.
So we finally got them in hand.
So we released a quick video of this, but obviously we got the tooling done for our 24 hex pieces, which I have here in my hand. These are the samples direct from the manufacturer. These obviously don't have biomes printed on them. In the future, there will be a source product available that comes without the surfaces, so you can kind of apply your own. You can use any sort of basing you would for any sort of miniature basing and do that. I think I've shown off some pictures. You guys have seen my dirt and my grass if you're following in the community. It's a lot of fun to do, and I think wargamers are going to like it specifically. But what's great about these is we did have some little hitches with some of our larger pieces in the past. They kind of got airtight and stuck a little. So we wanted to make sure that the tooling on these larger, worked really, really well, and they do. I'm happy to say that they work incredibly well. They come off, they stick together just as you'd expect. Now, it's really, really challenging to make a piece of plastic this big that doesn't warp in any direction. So really, really impressed with the manufacturing team and the team that designs the tools these to get them to be the quality that they are. So
Nice.
Yeah, these are fantastic, and they just came in and I'm really happy with them.
And you can build so fast with them. It's great.
So fast.
So just to preview there, obviously, obviously all the things that make these great, some of it is the strength. Even though it's a big thing, I can apply a lot of pressure to this and it's not going to break. The reason for that is you have this pattern on the bottom, which logically interlocks, of course, with pieces beneath it, but gives it that extra strength that it requires so that it's not snapping. And again, because this is non-interlocking, laying down a base layer of these is as simple as sliding them together. So it's just a much faster way to go ahead and lay down this base level, especially if you're wargaming. And you might say, well, they don't lock together. How do you keep them in place? Well, you just put on another layer on top, and suddenly they're locked.
Yep.
So the second you add a second layer on top of this base layer, you've got these pieces locked in place. So with the 24s specifically, this is the best way I recommend, especially for wargamers, BattleTech players, or Warhammer players. If you want to build a 4x6 map, focus in on these. Get a whole bunch of these, and probably under 2 minutes, and I'll be releasing videos soon. I think I can get it done in under a minute, to be honest, but probably in under a minute, you can lay down a 4x6 wargaming format for Source and just start playing on top of it. So really excited about
do it in 60 seconds. I'd bet you money.
I think I can. Yeah, I think I can. We'll make some videos. We'll show people. Everyone's always, one of the biggest criticisms, but I think biggest misunderstandings that I see out on the internet is like, oh, these modular boards, they're real cool, but I just want to sit down and play. I just want to play fast, and I could just lay down my neoprene mat and then I'm done and I'm ready to go. You can do it in under a minute. We will demonstrate that. We will absolutely record live real-time video of us building 4x6 format maps using our 24 hexes and how fast it truly is to set up. And then what's great about that is I think it's even better than a neoprene mat, because when you're done, you put it in a stack and you throw it in a backpack and you're good. You're good to go. You just leave. So that's one of the things that I think people most often get wrong when they see our system, is they think that must take forever to get set up and to play with it. It really does not. It's very, very fast.
I think it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge for the community to understand what non-interlocking means when it comes to these hexes. I think everybody hears it and they associate it with a different product, and they go, "Oh, it kind of so they must snap." And the answer is no. And Chris just showed it. We've showed it many a time, and people are still like, "Well, it's not that easy." And the answer is, it's that easy. It's really easy to use Source. My 4-year-old plays with it all the time, and it can build mountains. I put it in Discord all the time when he does his little builds. He puts it together, he takes it apart, he puts it away. I'm like, that was easy. Okay, all right.
I would debate they're easier than Legos to put together and build stuff with.
They are easier than Legos.
Debate.
He tried to put Legos together today. Well, for him, they're hard. They're easier.
The other reason that they're not interlocking, which I think a lot of people are missing, is that was a key innovation for us to bring durability back to products like these. You spend, you end up investing a lot of money when you buy tile systems like this, and especially when you start collecting them and your collection gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and they should last. And when you have things that connect to each other, they are bound to, over time, start to wear and tear and break. So when making these, you said it, but making these tiles non-interlocking means that they don't, there's no friction between parts, and so over time and over years and years and years of use, you shouldn't see any wear or tear between them. They shouldn't start to break. So that was really important to us, to make sure that when you make an investment in Source, you're going to have a system that lasts you, hopefully, your whole lifetime.
You should have.
Talk about your Mountain Dew tile too.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Our community asked me to do a Mountain Dew test. They wanted to see how long one of our tiles. I see your reactions, but wait for it. They want to see how long one of our. They were like, "Well, what if I spill something on it? Is the texture going to come off? Is it going to wear? Is the biome artwork going to start to fade away? What's the result going to be?" And I suspected, just because I know the technology we use to make them, I was like, I don't think it would matter at all. I think you just wipe it off and you're good to go. I said, and actually, I'm confident that you could probably submerge it in Mountain Dew for quite a long time, and it wouldn't have any material impact on either the strength and durability of the part or the biome artwork. And so we did. We put one in a glass of Mountain Dew in my house for, I forget how many, 58 days, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
Put it in for a very long time. And we took it out.
Scientist numbers right there.
The Mountain Dew was gelatin at the end. It wasn't Mountain Dew anymore.
It's pretty flat. Yeah.
I waited for the dew to evaporate and only the gelatinous sugar to remain before I took it out. And it literally, it outlived the evaporation of the Mountain Dew. And so I took it out. Actually, the hardest part was cleaning off the gooey sugar from it. But once I did, I stress tested the part. I put them next to all sorts of parts that weren't in the dew to see if there was any change. There just wasn't. You couldn't even tell that it
That's
had been in
amazing.
there.
You
So
put it on the box.
Still whatever you want on your source tiles. They're
Mountain
gonna
Dew
last.
proof, right on the box. Wow.
Yeah,
Survive the heat death of Mountain Dew.
The heat dip.
Justin's
These
asking,
tiles are
how did it
deep-tested.
taste?
I would not recommend drinking that.
I probably wouldn't
Definitely
drink it, even if it hadn't been through that. But yeah, they've been dew tested, and no problem. We've got all of the tests that the community's thrown at us. Like somebody asked me to light them on fire. I'll do that probably too. I'm sure I know how it's going to end up, but yeah, we'll keep testing them.
Got to run a
What
car.
are they
over 'em.
hoping for?
I think they just want to see the world burn.
I mean, maybe we find out this is another substitute for thermite or something.
I don't know.
Yeah. Everything. All right. What else do we have? So I have here, and we're gonna do a stream where we have the founder of these proprietary mats come on and talk. He reached out and he said he was interested in doing that. He wants to talk to people about how to care for them and what makes them unique and the chemists that he worked with to get here. But this is one of our grip mats. This one is circular at the moment. I think you can get it in this shape. We got to talk to him. He can make them in any shape you want, but we've mainly been offering them as rectangular on the campaign. But we got this made last minute before the Chinese New Year, so they only had circular. But effectively, this is what a grip mat is going to look like for Source. And you can see here the overlay of the Source tiles, so that as you scale and you build on top of this, they're going to sort of logically scale. Now, the exciting update here is that they're going to be double-sided.
Nice.
So we've automatically upgraded everybody's grip mat to be a double-sided grip mat. So we're going to offer them in certain, various combinations. But obviously the artwork matches identically to what you'd get on the tiles, so that you lay this down and suddenly, you've got a really quick surface you can play on. Probably don't even need to put the tiles on top, but these are grip mats. So what that means is when you put a tile down on this, it will stick to the surface and it stays right where you want it to stay.
And
Which
it
again, is
really
just really
does
useful.
stay well.
And it really does.
Chris has already tested that.
Yeah. So this is this guy has developed his own proprietary technology with a team of chemists that he owns that has enabled this mat to be grippy but not sticky. So there's a lot of mats out there right now that they kind of overdone it. His formula has kind of found that sweet spot between I want my minis and I want whatever I put on this to stay put. If I flick them or I bump my table, nothing goes anywhere. It also, Nick just pointed out earlier, I didn't even think about this, but because it's now double-sided grippy, it's going to stay to the table too. It's going to stay really nice and stuck to the table and anything you put on it. Now, care for this, I think I have a sheet on it, but you don't want to wash it. You'll want to use like a microfiber cloth that's damp with a little bit of soap on it. That's how you can clean this if anything gets on it. But these mats I'm really excited for. And they're obviously going to be available during late pledge. And everybody that's backed for one has automatically been upgraded to double-sided.
Nice.
That's another cool update I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, I'm excited about those. There's not a lot of good hex mats out there, so I'm excited about
Yeah,
those a
right.
lot.
That's definitely a big need in the tabletop community for sure.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. And the founder over there, Eric Salyers is his name at Grip Mats. He's excited to be working with us, and he's going to continue producing lines of source mats for all the themes we come out with. So you can expect to see us partnering with him over the long haul. And also just really grateful to him because he's going to be handling all the fulfillment for these mats as well. So super excited for that. And they may or may not arrive earlier than your source sets do. So if you back the mats, you might actually get those before source arrives. We're going to try and stay as coordinated as we can, but I think he'll be done a bit quicker than all the other stuff will. So you might get that sooner.
Nice.
What else? Oh, okay. I'm going to share my screen. Shall I show the standalone solution?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, do it.
This is the biggest one.
And Jordan from Australia is saying hi in the chat.
Hello.
Hey, Jordan.
Hello there. Love it.
It says
is
110
Australia.
Fahrenheit.
Not New
110,
Zealand.
110 Fahrenheit. Whew.
Australia.
Australia.
Still about 2 feet of snow outside my house, Jordan.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
actually
freezing
have
here.
almost no snow
Alright.
here in Wisconsin,
Let's take a look.
which is really weird.
In Wisconsin, yeah, that is weird.
So let me know when you can see my screen.
We can see it.
Okay, so in addition to a hardcover lore book that's going to be in every box of TimeStrike, we have found a solution to make TimeStrike itself a standalone game experience. This was incredibly important for us because we wanted to be able to get TimeStrike into retail stores. And without needing to buy an entire source set. We want it to be a standalone product that if you're a retailer and you don't want source, you just want to sell TimeStrike because that's what you're interested in, that's what your community is interested in. Now you can do it. What you're looking at here is sort of a standard board game, fold-out board made of 2 layers of cardboard, with the top layer having our biomes printed on it. And effectively, if you thought about like a piece of foam and you laid out a source board on top and then you stood on the foam and it took the tiles out, this is like an embossed outline of where the tiles will fit. So you can fold this board out and then you can build the tiles up from there. These are also tileable.
Nice.
What's great about this solution is now every single box of TimeStrike and all the backers that have bought TimeStrike are going to get it, including this board. It folds up, so it's about 24 inches when it's folded out, and it'll fold up to 12 inches so that it'll fit right in the box at like a 12 by 12 format.
That's really cool.
This will allow you to do something that I know a lot of 3-dimensional board players have always wanted to do, which is just pick your board up and move it. So that'll be fun. But also, it's just an incredibly low-cost way for you to lay down a foundation. And so we're calling this the Source Foundation. And basically, this Source Foundation will be an incredibly affordable way for you to lay down a foundation that then the tiles can slot into. These just slot right into those outlines, and it should be able to build just as you would if you were building on top of other Source tiles. So I'm super excited for this. Obviously, here we're showing the frozen tundra biome, but in TimeStrike, it's going to be desert. You're going to get the desert because that's the theme that works best for the void. But yes, so this is an update we've been working really hard with on our manufacturing partners to come up with a solution. There's nothing else like this out in the market. So we're pretty excited when we arrived at this and we realized that it was possible, that we could do it, and that we could keep it affordable, and that it would solve a big problem for us, which is how do we get TimeStrike to be in your friendly local gaming stores all around the world. So yeah, everybody's going to get this as an upgraded piece in their TimeStrike box.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Very
People are
nice.
crazy,
And for those of you who here, let me just put this off. Close the stream. For those of you who are listening there on Spotify, couldn't see that. If you want to go to YouTube, check it out. But yeah, that shit we just showed, and you described it pretty well, Chris. Just those cardboard blocks, and they just match right in with visually the source terrain. So yeah, it looks very nice. Yeah, and Justin saying
I
nice.
should also add, though,
Yeah, go ahead.
I should also add that what you'll see in the TimeStrike box, right, it'll be desert, but then you'll have some water in there, right? So
Okay.
fishing and for all the things that you can do in the game. As well, TimeStrike will come with sort of now punch-out cardboard pieces that you can use to represent your materials and your road building. So those will pair really well with that solution as well, to again enable it to be a standalone game. I think you're going to see a lot more of this from us. When we release games, we'll think about what's the most affordable standalone option. What is the option with some source tiles? What is the most deluxe option with a full source board and, let's say, your pre-colored minis in it? And there'll always be these ways to make the product more accessible. So if you want to get it, you can find a whole bunch of different entry points, depending on how excited you are about it and just what your means are at the time.
Very nice. Justin in the chat saying, nice, very similar to Arena of the Planeswalker. The board was one of the main reasons I purchased AOTP. Yeah, very nice. All right, anything else, guys? Anything else? No secrets you want to give away just yet, because I know
we
there's
got more
things
secrets,
doing.
but nothing
Yeah,
yet at all.
nothing you
Nothing
can say.
about what we talked about last night, Ryan. Come on.
Yeah, none of those secrets.
The lips are sealed. The lips are sealed. But very, very excited. Well, okay.
I just want to
go ahead.
reiterate for
Go
everyone
ahead.
listening or that tunes in, we're getting that pledge manager up and running as soon as possible. We don't have an exact date, but we are very, 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 very close, and everyone will be notified. It's super important to us. We're busting our butts on it every day, and it's coming.
Very nice.
No matter what, it's happening in February. So
Okay.
you'll know if it's the second to last day of February that it'll be that day or the next.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. So within February, not really much time. It's going to pop up and be like, okay, I got to stream this because it's been.
Luckily, it's a leap year,
But
right?
the nice thing about
Yeah,
GameFound
true.
is
Get
that
back
there
in the
won't
day.
be some set time limit on this either.
Mm.
We plan on opening it, making sure that everybody's able to resolve, making sure that if we have any questions from the community or any bugs to work out with our GameFound, we will do that. We're estimating it should last a little bit over 30 days. We don't want to go too much longer than that because we need the details for manufacturing, but also we don't want to rush everybody either. So it'll be a nice midpoint in there.
I actually do have one more update. It's not like a big secret, but I'm pretty excited about it. We're obviously, we've always talked about our first phase would be crowdfunding, our second phase would be retail. So we had a lot of retail interest during the Kickstarter campaign, and we're working directly with retailers to get them Source and TimeStrike. That package includes a standard retailer discount and also comes with demo units of TimeStrike and demo units of Source Golf, so that you can show that off in your store. But on a bigger scale, we started to talk with distributors, and there's a ton of interest from distributors to get Source in stores. So we haven't inked anything yet, but the interest is there, and we're continuing to work with them. What this means is when we get our products into distribution, they will sell directly to all their retail clients, which are all around the world. So if you're a retailer and you're interested, we'll be able to point you to the right distributor to give a call to and say, hey, I want these products. And of course, we would appreciate if you did do that, because they only sort of get the products that their retailers are telling them they want. But there is going to be a solicitation period happening probably between now and I would say June or July timeframe to see where the retail interest is and to get these products into distributors. That's big because that means that you'll be able to walk into your local game store and buy Source off the shelf, or buy TimeStrike off the shelf, or see a demo unit out in the store and stop by to play it with some strangers and have a good time. So we're working really hard on that, and the interest is definitely there. So I expect some exciting updates from us on that front pretty soon.
Great. And as long as there's nothing else, I do have, and before we get into final thoughts, there is one thing I want to mention. It's kind of like a proposal to the Source community out there. And I'll give this example of after the Kickstarter campaign finished with Source and TimeStrike, there was a lot of momentum. There was everybody was excited for what was going to be coming up since it was a success. And then the guys at Venture Together Games, they were streaming beforehand, and they were just keeping that momentum going. And then after the success of the campaign, things got kind of quiet, and I don't think momentum was really halted, but it just left people probably a little confused and like, okay, what's going on? Now, everybody was working really hard, and that's why there wasn't much communication out there. But my thought is that, and there's this other point too. I love you guys so much, and I love the fact that you were able to come on the ToV podcast here last year and this time. Because even though primarily we talk about HeroScape, we love HeroScape, it's always great to invite people to come on and anything that's being created that's HeroScape-like. But there is a limit, I think, on how many times before it's like, okay, we need to get back to talking about HeroScape because this is a HeroScape Central podcast. So this is my thought to the Source community. How? Because I don't think Source is going anywhere, and I think there's plenty of how would we put it, information for not just TimeStrike and Source itself, but whatever games people are generating. There's just a lot of things to cover, and I think it would be great to have someone provide that information other than through Adventure Together Games themselves, because they only can do so much. So what if there was a podcast dedicated to Source, to TimeStrike, to the Source system, to those within the community who are creating like Source based games to get the word out. Say we call it the ToTV podcast. And it kind of runs the same as the ToV podcast does. I would love to do that. I believe I can. The only issue is just finances and time, because I'm at my limit when it comes to like with my family. I need some type of backing. So this is my offer to the source community. If that seems like that's something that's interesting enough, and I still think it's probably going to happen. I just have a feeling, wink wink, it's probably going to happen sooner or later, no matter what. It's going to take some planning, but if even if it's just $1 a month, go to the ToV Patreon. As long as I can get 50 backers with at least just one, it's like a $1 or $3 pledge basically a month. If I can get 50 people, I'll do it. I'll certainly do it, and I think it would be another great venue to have someone that's kind of outside of Adventure Together games, even though I'm kind of whittling my way inside. But just someone who isn't part of that original team per se to get that word out, develop another panel, and if I can be financially backed for that time, I can certainly do it. It wouldn't take much. So I think we're going to do some polls. I think we're going to reach out to the source community on that. But I think it'd be a good way to get that word out to more people, to get more in depth with Source and eventually TimeStrike or whatever we do with Tales of the Void, and the games that community are creating. So that is my thoughts. That is my pitch. And just let me know. Again, link description below to check out. And so someday. It might not be a Tales of Valhalla YouTube channel. And it might not end up being the ToV Patreon. It might become something more. It just might become something more. So yeah, Chris, I don't know, any thoughts on that to the community?
Well, first, I think it's a fantastic idea. I think you're going to see a lot more content coming out of the source community and the designers, independent creators that are making things. I think there's going to be an endless source of new things to talk about and new people to interview. I think that just the three teams that we kind of highlighted today, I think those designers would more than love to have a platform to talk to people about the things they're working on and their games, and start to connect with their communities online. And what better way than to come on a podcast and do that. So I think it's fantastic. I want to say to the source community that Ryan's been doing this for a very long time. These podcasts are incredible. They just keep getting better and better. The quality is great. The guests you have on are great. The conversation's great. I love the idea. So we'll definitely poll our community, and we'll start supporting and sending out emails to everybody and trying to find the support that you need to get this podcast started, because I think it'd be good for everybody, and definitely good for our community to have one place to come back to and constantly see content. In regards to the momentum, post campaign, we're a small team. I just would ask everybody out there to be patient with us. We have families too, and we're just trying to. We need to relax and rest a little bit after the campaign. To be honest, that was just kind of us decompressing and taking a couple weeks to ourselves, and it was also the holidays. We're going to get right back to doing sort of weekly streaming and showing play tests, and we've got a lot of plans too, just on the Adventure Together side, to do more TimeStrike content. And to do more content around Source and to show people all the different things they can do with it. But 1,000%, I think the ToTV podcast sounds like an amazing thing, and we're definitely behind you, and we'll ask our community to get behind it too.
Yeah, it's a good point in order to keep momentum going, and not it just going strong, but just steady, just a steady momentum. I think having an outside source podcast in the long run will be very beneficial for anybody who wants information, not just on TimeStrike, not just on Source, but anything else that's being created. There's there's virtually an endless amount of information that can be and subjects that can be talked about. So yeah, definitely. If that appeals to anybody, I mean, become one of those 50 backers. You know, that's all it takes. I mean, it's a BHAG, but it's definitely possible. So if that happens, I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice now. Yeah, we'll see if that goal can be met. So and I appreciate anybody who does, because not only will it go towards that, but also it'll also go towards helping the Tales of the Void side of stop motion animation, as well as the Heroescape side of things too. That'll just keep momentum going. So.
Thank you, by the way, Brian, for offering to do that. And I think as well, Adventure Together support you in finding ways to help on the Patreon front. You know what I mean? There could be some exclusive and cool giveaways we could work on together.
Absolutely.
So let's circle up more with you and just talk about ways that we can help support bringing this to life.
Behind the scenes, people, it's going to happen behind the scenes. Stay tuned. All right, so how about we do then final thoughts? I'm going to see. Let's start from the top. Andrew, Bob, would you like to give final thoughts? Start out with that for tonight. Anything on your mind?
Yeah, no, there's nothing that we haven't already talked about. Yeah, you know some of the secrets. You also don't know some of the secrets. So some of those will be coming down the pipeline here in due time, and I think you're all gonna love them. The cardboard base option, the thing that Chris showed off today, is something that I think is really cool. It's something just to be offered in the box that is going to be able to offer a lot for that base layer, because that was one thing that a lot of us talked about, and even me who like doing Dungeons and Dragons, like that's always something too. Is like the wife does not particularly like me leaving everything set up between 1 month each session on the dining room table. So what do I do in moving these pieces around? And having everything on these 15 hexers is that, yeah, I can do that, but picking it all up is hard. And now, of course, we have the 24 hexers, so maybe it's a little easier. But with this cardboard base layer, I think there's a lot of benefit we gain from that. That is another cool thing we're showing off today for you guys to see. But there's a lot more in the future, so just be ready.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Nick, if you want to go next.
Sure, absolutely. So we talked about a lot of things tonight, but I just want the community to know that that's not it. There's so much more coming, and I think a lot of people look at us and say, okay, they have Source, they have something new, and maybe this will be like a one-hit wonder. We are here to stay. We are already thinking of 10 years from now. We are thinking 5 years from now, and we're thinking about tomorrow. We're doing our best to build something that will never cease to innovate and will never stop bringing you new experiences. And how much we've pivoted just between Kickstarter and Pledge Manager, with Chris bringing out these amazing new cardboard mats, and then during the Kickstarter we get the sticky mats. Like, things just happen. And we have more in the back here. We have something that everybody knows we're working on, is the open source app. And everybody's been requesting a world builder. These are all things that we're not ready to show yet, but they're going to be worked on, or they're going to, and sooner than we think, or than I should say. So just be patient with us. Like Chris said, we're all working our butts off. And I think something that I've learned as someone who tries to communicate with the community as much as possible, that even me just reaching out and saying hi is worth the time. It doesn't always have to be this elaborate communication. Just, hey guys, here's a quick update, 2 sentences, we'll talk again soon. That's something that I'm going to try and be a little bit better at for us, and just make the community feel like, okay, hey, they're still here. I think what you referred to earlier, Ryan, yeah, we were burnt out, but we still could have gotten on and said, hey guys, just taking a few days, we'll get back to you. And that's where it was a lessons learned for me. And we're going to do better at it. A lot on the horizon, and I just can't wait for everybody to have this in their hands. I I'll say it until the day that it ships out and arrives on people's doorsteps, because I know it's going to catch fire. I know it's going to catch fire, and people are going to be like, "Oh, this is what I've been waiting for," and it's going to be a great moment. So, thank you, Ryan, for having us. I love hearing about the potential collaboration that we're doing with you. I have to say I watch your videos pretty frequently. If anything, just to mellow me out at the end of the day. Your sultry voice puts me in a, relaxing mood.
What,
So
the
I wanna thank
Sylvaris
you
or
for
the White
always
Folly voice?
I just want to thank you for having us. It's always a pleasure being on here.
Appreciate you,
We'll
sir.
always join you anytime, and I can't wait to see what we're going to be doing with Tales of the Void, because I know that's going to happen. There's not a doubt in the world. You put it out there, now it's going to happen. That's the way it works. We believe it'll happen. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, sir. All right, Jason, go ahead.
Yeah, I think what I heard as most intriguing tonight for me was something about your own custom 3D printed source tiles. So I would be looking forward to making some of those, doing my own 3D modeling, kind of integrating my own ideas with the existing source terrain. That's definitely something I think is right up my aisle. So I'm looking forward to that when that comes out later. But other than that, I'm Jason, the creator of the Tabletop Battlefield. You can find my content over at tabletopbattlefield.com or Rocker Robotics on YouTube. And while we're on the topic of 3D printing, if you're looking for 3D printable near future sci-fi gaming miniatures or hiding off camera, you can check these guys out over at fracturedcolony.com. And that's all I got for right now. Thanks.
Thank you, Jason. All right, Josiah, go ahead.
Yeah, I always love talking to the Venture Together crew. I just like, it's like, I don't know how to compare it to, but I was kind of having a mellow kind of day today. Now I'm like, yeah, let's take over the world now. Let's do it. That's how I feel at the end of every session. My big idea that I didn't have a chance to say is you talked about the speed. You should have speed competitions so you can make a set map. Like, those cup stacking competitions, but with the tiles, that would be kind of fun. Who could have a clock who can get it done the fastest. I think that'd be a fun idea. But no, I'm excited about Source. I have a lot of I'm hoping to open the box and see what's all inside and actually get my hands on some of the stuff. So I'm pumped for it. I think there's just great things in the future, both creatively and administratively coming from you all, which I think are both just important things. And I'm kind of gushing like a fanboy over here, but I'm a fan for sure. I'm a hard person to turn into a fan, but once you do, you got me. And I guess I'll just end with I'm the Roguescaper. I do a lot of painting content as well as just other just other content related to Heroescape and board games. So definitely check me out on YouTube. And I yield my time.
Thank you, sir. All right, Anthony, go ahead. Next.
I just want to remind everyone that for those of you who do play Tabletop Simulator, that we do have Source out on that now. I think that since I was able to get that out, it's kind of like a early way to let people start building maps, but also just be able to play test their ideas. And kind of once I was able to get that out, like it's like a small version of what I think when the actual board gets into people's hands will be, of just like being able to build and play and have fun, make cool looking maps and come up with new game ideas and mechanics. And I'm just excited for what the community is going to bring farther down the line. And we'll be doing some more streams soon. There has been some big updates to TimeStrike, just with having to develop out the stretch goal of the solo co-op mode, which in its own way has made the whole game better, because I did have to change around some core things to really make it feel like a co-op, to make it really feel like you're working together. And it's also shifted even the boss battle royale and the skirmish version and how those kind of play out. So I'm actually like just so happy that we unlocked that, and I had to go and we built that out, and now it's an even better experience. And I'm still new to this field, but all I've ever done is just kind of watch game reviews, look at game mechanics, and it's like my favorite thing to do. And now that I have a community that's also pitching in their own stuff and we're exchanging ideas, it's just so much fun. And yeah, just if you want to join the community, jump on Discord, and or just go find our link for the tabletop simulator, or search Source System on TTS Workshop, and just start playing around with it and see if something comes to mind. Because a lot of people just there's something, as soon as you mess with it, there's something that sparks.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. All right, Chris, go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan, again for having us on. For everybody listening, the absolute best place for you to engage with us is always going to be on Discord. We have a Facebook, we have a YouTube. There's lots of different ways to engage with us. But if you want just total, real-time access to any one of us at any time, it's on Discord. You're basically living in our pockets at that point. And we love talking with our community on Discord. So really do please come join that community. Come be a part of what we're trying to do here. Come be a part of the community and sharing this adventure with us. A couple exciting things for me coming up. Obviously we're going to deliver to backers. Everything is fingers crossed on time as of now. So you can expect to get your sets in August as promised. But look out for us at all the major conventions around the world this year. We're going to continue to grow that events program, and we're going to...
Oh, you blacked out there a second, Chris.
We lost you.
Yeah, we lost you there. No,
we're going to be at Steel. We're going to be at Games.
Technical difficulties. Hold on a second.
All the big ones.
Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, he's totally out. I know you were narrowing in there on the close there.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna be at Dexlight. We're gonna be at Gen Con. We're gonna be at Spiel. We're gonna be at Origins. We're gonna be at PAX Unplugged. Okay, those are the big ones where you can come find us this year. We're gonna be selling games. We're gonna be playing games. We're gonna be talking Source. We're gonna be showing off other creators and what they've built for Source. So make sure you come visit us. We'll release more information on where you can find us at those events and how you can come play with us, meet us, hang out, talk Source, talk board gaming, whatever you want. Ultimately, we're building a community here around shared experiences and an adventure that we want to go on with the whole world. We are leading an open source tabletop gaming revolution. Come be a part of it. We want you to be a part of it. That's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, Jeremy, go ahead.
All right. Well, I did want to take the time. I was thinking about it, and so I figured it'd be better to kind of let the team talk more about the product. And it was a really good opportunity to learn more about this awesome concept that you have worked so hard on. I think as someone who also loves to have like projects and things like that, it's like, it takes so much work and so much energy, so much effort to, first get the idea, keep it going, and then not, just like give up, I guess. Like, it's just because, these things are hard. Having the innovation and the desire to make something that's unique, all your own, especially in this very competitive world we live in, there's always someone else trying to outdo better, or something like that. But, your team stuck together, and now you have this awesome product, like right around the corner from being released. And, it's gotta be a really proud moment for everyone in the team. And I imagine you're all really, really excited for this. So I can tell you from what I've seen and what I've read and interacted with, it's going to be awesome. It's going to create a new era of wargaming, and it's going to be awesome to be a part of that and be able to see that go forward. So just looking forward to see how it grows, and really excited to have a chance to hear from y'all. So thank you for that time. And yeah, just for all the listeners out there, as always, I like to do lore stuff. So if you ever want to get more deep into that and just drop into a rabbit hole for 3 hours, feel free to look me up, the Eslam Collate, Twitch, Twitter, and on YouTube, and I yield my time.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. And see in chat, Joton64 is saying, that sounds awesome. If I had a chance to talk about exopirates, that would be amazing. That is one main point, is to have a podcast that just like we're talking Source, we're talking TimeStrike, we're talking about games being developed by the Source community, and have them a chance to come on and speak their minds, I think would be great. So definitely, again, get on ToV Patreon, become a backer, and I get 50, and it's going to be a definite sure thing. It's going to be a definite sure thing. So we'll see how quickly that goal can be met, because I'm ready to get started. All right, and so, and then I am Ryan, aka Tales of Valhalla, of course. Run this wonderful podcast, as well as a stop motion adventure series based off the board game HeroScape, which is has 3 seasons, 3 very, very fun and wonderful story arc seasons. Check them out on the Tales of Valhalla YouTube channel, and I'm making plans. I don't know when they're going to come to fruition, but there is a huge possibility that we're going to be reaching to other platforms very, very soon, which is going to be a lot of fun, just to try and reach out to more people, not just for HeroScape, but as well as Source. And speaking about HeroScape, March 1st is Renegade Con, and there will be a ToV podcast. We're going to be going live. When they announce HeroScape, we're going to see all the wonderful details, good or bad. I think I'm fairly positive it's going to be mostly good. So until that time, it's just going to be me like live streaming Wednesday and Sunday. Just probably doing some like video editing, because there's never a shortage of that. But yeah, come join us March 1st, and yeah, it's going to be fun, because this was a dream. This was, I mean, like I said, another reason starting this YouTube channel was just the hope, the hope that someday HeroScape could return and come back, and just the fact that is happening, good or bad, it's happening, and that is something to celebrate. So yeah, look forward to that. But in the meantime, like I said, stay tuned, everybody. The greatest adventure is yet to come. You have a purpose in your life. Find it, pursue it, live it, and we'll see you guys next time. Later all. Thank you for everything. Thanks, guys, for coming. Thanks for everybody in the chat. Later.